Hello, everyone, and welcome to Tech Talk with Seven Solutions, where we talk to tech entrepreneurs, enthusiasts, influencers in tech from all over the world. This episode is a particularly special one because I'm going to be talking to our very own CEO, Mr. Irfan Malik. But just before we dive into that conversation, quick reminder to subscribe to our YouTube channel and follow us on social media if you want to hear more inspiring stories like this. So just a brief introduction about our guest. Mr. Irfan Malik is a tech entrepreneur. He's a digital healthcare solutions specialist and founder and CEO of Seven Solutions, a rapidly growing tech startup with 3 global offices. So proud to work with him, and you've been able to achieve this just short of 5 years. What an achievement! Welcome to the podcast, Irfan.
Thank you very much. And I must say it's a great initiative, and I always love sharing my experience with the people out there.
Absolutely,
And
and
I'm
he has.
happy to be the part of it.
Thank you so much. Thank you. And I know you're a busy guy. You're always running around. So thank you for carving out the time to be here. So I know a little bit about your story. I can't wait to share it with everyone else. But I want to start at the beginning. And I would like you to please shed a little light on your background and what led you to begin a tech startup.
I am basically I'm from a small town, Bahawalpur, that is somewhere in Pakistan. Not a very strong educated background, not very strong business background, but since the beginning I always like IT because IT gives you the freedom of thought. IT gives you the power that the more you work, the more you gain. So that was the one thought that always drive me towards starting my own business using the technology and tech startup.
Okay. So now when you mention this, I personally know that you didn't have a tech background before you started the startup. So I'm wondering, is it possible to establish a tech company or startup without a tech background? How did you do that?
Actually, that's very important and a pretty common question. I can see that many people are, more concerned about this tech, while they're going and thinking about, planning about the tech startup. Yes, you can start a tech company without a solid tech background. It doesn't mean, you don't have to know about the basic ins and out of the technology, but you don't have to be the tech expert. I'll add one more thing into it that, just imagine, I can see that people out there are spending all of their energy learning a technology to be a tech expert. While they're putting everything into the tech side, they are kind of missing the business development skills, the business setting skills. Learning a business development skills is very important as learning a technological skills. So, you have to keep the balance out of it. But yes, you can start that. And if you notice, there are bigger companies out there like Airbnb, Tinder, there are many other companies who their co-founders or founders are not with a solid tech background. The most common example that we have is Steve Jobs. He was not a programmer at all. He was not from a solid tech background. Jack Ma is another example, the founder of Alibaba. So yes, it's absolutely possible. It's about mindset. It's about courage and planning. If you have a good idea and the strong domain knowledge, all you have to do is to take initiative, small initiative.
Right, that makes sense. So my next question was because I'm a doctor turned marketer. So I know one thing for sure, that you don't need to have prior experience to enter a new phase or enter a new role in life professionally. So if you have the zeal to learn new things, you learn on the job. Does that same dynamic apply to starting a business as well? Do you have to have prior experience?
Actually, this is inevitable. You have to start from somewhere. To gain experience, you have to start without experience, and you have to capitalize on it. You have to learn from that. So everybody out there, somewhere, somehow, starting without any experience. And then what matter is when you are starting without experience, what you are learning at the beginning, how you're capitalizing on it, how you're moving forward and re-strategizing it. That matters, but it is absolutely possible. And I would call it, this is the only option one has, to start without an experience. As I said, just, you need a little more courage, solid planning, domain knowledge, a good idea, and maybe in best case scenario, a mentor, and that's all you need.
So what, like you said, mentor and a good idea, and you had that drive, you had that motivation. Who was your support system? What was your support system? Did you have any backing? Who was your mentor? Did you have friends that supported you in this idea? Because you're from a small town in Pakistan, a remote area. Education was, primary education is seen as something very big. Just people, I think in those areas, they don't tend to dream big, but you did as a child. So I'm wondering what your support system was and what was your driving factor?
Actually, there wasn't any support system or mentor for me. It was drive. It was, why I'm recommending a mentor. I can explain that. My initial journey without any mentor, without any solid educational background, without any experience in the university, maybe as you already know that I started this business without getting into the university, before I get out of the university. So, but I wasted so much of my time. I struggled a lot. I failed a lot. I don't want people to fail. If they have mentor around them, if they can understand them, if they can gain his knowledge, if they can capitalize on them, go ahead and do it and save your time. There is so much intense competition out there. Not everyone out there can afford to lose time, can afford to fail and recover from that failure. So I only thing that I got when I was starting my career is only one thing, and that is in tech business, you don't need any funding, you don't need any kind of support or system. You develop your skill set, you understand the market, understand the pain point. If you know the problems and if you know the solution, just go ahead and start developing it. You need the basic knowledge of technology. Although I have developed so many applications, and I was deep into the technology for like 3-4 years before the starting this company, but it doesn't mean that you need all that things with you. But yes, mentor is important, but still you can move on. It's about your commitment and determination.
So what it sounds like to me is that you didn't have a mentor, you didn't have the professional education, you didn't have a tech background, you didn't have the experience, and yet here you are, a CEO, a successful CEO at that. So what it sounds to me is like you're saying that if somebody gets a mentor, mentors are there, so other people can learn from their mistakes and they don't have to repeat the same. Is that what you're saying?
Yes, exactly. As I said, there is so much intense competition out there. And in this competition, you cannot afford multiple failure. You have to take a right direction and with full throttle. There's no other option out there.
So where does this drive to help other people, this helping instinct that you have? Because I know that you love to mentor people around you. You motivate them, you keep their momentum going. Where does this drive to help people? Because not everyone has that internally. It's not innately there. So where does this instinct or this drive to help other people come from?
See, it's about beliefs. It's about beliefs in a sense that I strongly believe that whatever I am today, whatever I'm going to do is not possible without the team, without the people I have with me, without their dedication, their efforts, their loyalty. And since I am here because of my people, it's my responsibility to give them back, to help them out. And once I was struggling when I came out of the school, I was, a sportsman and third division from school, third division from college. So when I was struggling, I saw that when I was sitting in a software houses, people were, helping me out. Some was refusing me, some were helping me. But I saw that you cannot fly alone. You cannot take a solo flight. You have to, if you want a good people around you, you have to give them back. You have to help them out. So honestly speaking, what I got from the community, from the people around me, I'm trying my best to give them back in the best possible manner.
It's amazing. I think that's so important to give back to the community. And just to plug in here, I know that you're, planning an event to give back to the community, and we'll have more on that in social media. So that's why if anyone's watching and they want to see this amazing initiative that we have for the community, please start following our social media and we get updates on that. So I know a lot of people, they're in that 9 to 5 grind, right? They go to the office, they wake up, they have a routine, they're at the office, they come back at 5 in the evening. They're not motivated, they don't have the drive, they're not about the job life, but they have other responsibilities, they have liabilities, they need to pay the rent, they need to put food on the table, but they're not happy where they're working. So they want to start a business, and maybe they want to get into tech or non-tech, but they want to have their own business, something that they can call their own. What advice would you give to such people to make that shift from a job to entrepreneurship?
There are many things we can talk about. There's a lot we can talk about it, because that is something very important for me to share that knowledge with the people out there. I saw so much talent out there who are wasting themselves in 9 to 6 job. The 9 to 6 job is like a full stop on your career. So, people doing this, it's like I read the book Rich Dad Poor Dad, where Robert Kiyosaki defines it very, very well, and it says that these are the people who are making their decision under some fear of paying bills, fear of putting the food on the table, fear of meeting the expenses needs out there, and under that fear they are making all that decisions. So basically, expenses, bills, growth, everything is something, a problem that there is no end to it. It will keep on rising. It will keep on, it's keep on increasing. So what you have to do is to, plan a long-term solution for a long-term problem. Bills, putting the food on the table, paying rent and all that stuff, all these things are a long-term problem. What you have to do is to expand your skill set. You have to start from somewhere. But yeah, I understand one challenge. The people who are doing the job, they must need certain amount of money at the end of the month, and they think they cannot afford to do something where there are chances that they lose that money that they're going to get at the end of the month. I would suggest one thing here. I don't know why these people are working 8 hours a day. Go ahead and add some effort. Work 20 hours a day, do the job, get the basic income, basic money to fulfill your needs, to put the food on the table, to pay the bills and the rent and to other family expenses. Go ahead and do that. But meanwhile, start planning, start learning, start self-education, start gathering some information about certain domains, start understanding the problems out there in the community, what you can solve, what you have in mind. The moment you get a good idea, go ahead and take a small step. Develop something. We call it MVP. If you can't develop it, hire someone who can. Pay them a bit of out of your income. Plan your expenses in a way you can save something to pay the person who can get it developed for you. I'm talking about the people who are non-technical, who cannot develop their own ideas. So they can hire someone, they can pay him, and he can do for them. And you have to strike a balance between the job and your own idea and your own startup. There will be a time when you will be able to afford to switch between startup and the job. But if you're thinking, the mostly people are thinking, giving the resignation and starting your own business is catastrophic, because it is a bitter truth that you have to get certain amount of money at the end of the month. You have to be smart with that. So yes, people should do that, and they can do that. It is all about little courage, and it is all about mindset. And there are so much opportunities, so many opportunities in the tech field, I would say, and never-ending opportunities in the tech field.
So, so that makes sense. And what I'm hearing is that from your income, what people don't realize is that when you put some money into outsourcing or hiring help or asking for help or even upgrading your skill set, that is actually an investment that you can do with a running payroll. But people, I don't think that they realize that it's an investment that they're making. So it makes perfect sense. Thank you for that.
Yeah, let me add one more thing into it.
Yes, please.
What they don't understand is that the investment starts from when you are planning to start your own business, when you are working on your mind, when you're consuming so much positive content from the internet, from your mentors, from your books. That is an investment. The best investment is the time that you are spending on yourself to educate yourself. Spending some money is the second part of the investment. In most cases, in my case, I'm at this level, I never spent a single penny in that startup out of my pocket. It is all organic. There is no funding. I never spent a penny. I didn't have to. So it was simple for me to, just establish, follow the one simple basic rule that is, I would recommend that people should understand, that P by PC rule, keeping the balance between production and the capability of the production. Don't be too greedy to take more than enough out of your business. Don't be too greedy to fill your pockets, and don't share with your people who are doing great job for you. So the first investment is to, grab the education and get a good mindset.
Yeah. And so when you're talking about mindset, I know you're big on mental health and mental well-being. I mean, you take care of your physical health, you have an in-house gym, you motivate others to work out as well, and keep healthy and a healthy body, healthy mind. But I'm going to just sort of segue into mental well-being. How important is mental health to you? And how do you make sure that it is translated into the workplace for your team members?
You're talking about importance of mental health. For me, that's my personal opinion. Mental health isn't important, but mental health is everything. This is much more than we call mental health is important. When we're calling something important, that becomes sometimes optional, because there are many other important things out there that you face. But for us, mental health is everything. Let me give you an example. Mental health can play a vital role to destroy your startup, or to, create your startup. This mental health can destroy you, your startup. Mental health can destroy your relation. Mental health can destroy your friend circle, many things, and mental health is directly connected with your physical health. And mental health is directly connected with your entrepreneurial skills and the decision making. And the decision making is something that can, take the company to the next level. Your decision making. Imagine if I have got, I'm blessed to have people, very dedicated, technically strong, loyal people around me. I'm blessed. And imagine if somebody's coming in and I'm not in my best of mental state and I'm just yelling at them. What they'll do, they leave me. And just imagine if good people are leaving me, where I can take my company to alone. No one can take up from a certain level as a sole flight. No one can do that. So mental health is everything, I would say. When you are stressed, when you are have tight deadlines, when you have goals, many things, but don't forget to pay time to yourself. Don't forget to invest in yourself, in your mind, in your health, and on your mental health particularly. For me, mental health is very important. That is one reason, as you know, that we are running many campaigns, awareness campaigns about mental health, and we will be doing that with full throttle as long as we exist.
I am one of the biggest advocates of mental health, and I'm just going to plug in a personal story because I've been with you for 4 years now, and I have been working effectively as a remote employee. I have never ever felt any strain, mental strain. And I just want to share this story very quickly, that 4 years ago, when I was expecting my third child, and you were in a very, starting, and you only had a handful of team members. And I was already stressed out because I was a new team member and I had to go on maternity leave. And I remember your words, and all you said was, Dr. Maida, take all the time you need, come to spend time with your family, spend time with your baby, and recover, rest, and come back when you're ready. And just your words were healing for me. And it was just, it gave me so much support. So thank you for that. And for everyone listening,
As I said, your biggest strength in the company, in any startup, are the people around you. And you can retain that strength if you are honest, transparent, and loyal with them as well. So that is pretty simple. I cannot burn the people around me. As you know that even in our organization, no one can use the word employee. I hate that word using in that organization. I don't use that word. You have, Dr. Maida, you have got certain skill set. I've got certain skill set, and together we're doing a business. So I cannot do it without you, and you cannot do it without me. So there is no kind of a relationship of employer and employee. It's like we're doing business by sharing our skill set. So that's why I respect all the people out there And that is one reason why that we are, moving forward at such a rapid pace.
Yeah. So just to sort of go back to the technical aspect of things, and I was reading an article, and research actually shows that the failure rate of startups is 90%, and that 21.5% of startups fail in the first year, 30% in the second year, 50% in the fifth year, and 70% even in the 10th year. So you've been running this startup strong for 5 years. We haven't skipped a beat. Momentum is the same. In fact, it's increasing. Why do you think businesses fail in their first 5 years?
The answer is pretty simple, but let me, add one more stat into it. In Pakistan, the failure rate is more than 97%.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
So anyhow, for me, people can, gauge their strength according to their environment. But for me, the equation is pretty simple. If you're giving the best to your people, the best will come to you. People say, when I talk to people, when I read book, I say many things. First thing I always read is that you got to have a good idea. You got to have a good marketing strategy. You got to have a good marketing research. You got to have a good management skills and all that, technical skills, management skills, marketing skills, business skills. Good idea, along with a good idea, good implementation plan, and whatnot. All these things are important. But for me, the most important thing and the most important reason of our survival and the growth are the people around us. Is my team that I have got. They're so motivated. They're so dedicated. I always appreciate them. And that's the best reason one can do. And the most important skill and the most important thing that any tech and non-tech entrepreneur should do is to, find a good people. Finding a good people is a complicated task. Let me tell you, I follow Jack Ma on and off. Jack Ma says finding and hiring a good people is a complicated thing. Making them believe in your vision is a difficult part. Make them believe in your vision. And if you can do that, you don't need a tech background. You don't need investment. Even you don't need any idea. They'll think for you. They'll set up a plan for you. You have got brains in your team. But the most important skills and the most important reason that we are here today is the people, your team, and the leadership skills that we got as a team.
Great. And so I don't want to, keep you for too much longer, but just to end up, my last question is that I've often heard you say that over the years you have learned what to do and how to do it better over time with experience, but more importantly, what not to do.
What not to do, yeah.
So if you can weigh in on the do's and don'ts of business, that would be great.
Well, I'll start with don'ts, because when I left my first job and I started this company, there was no idea, domain knowledge behind it. There was no solid plan, but I clearly knew that what I should not do, what I will not do in my organization. And the first thing was, I will not spoil the social life of my people out there. I will not make them mentally sick by adding a lot of burden, the stressful environment. I will not do that. I'm still trying my best. I admit I'm not perfect, but I'm trying my best. No, so I will take care of my team. The second thing was that the most important thing for me is the quality of the delivery, is the quality of the service, is the satisfaction of your client. Everything revolves around the satisfaction of your client. You once you committed something to your client, you won't have to look back and now start gauging it into the profit and loss. You have to deliver, you must deliver, and you exceed their expectation with the quality, not just to get the next milestones payment. Go ahead and just be honest with your client, because these are the kind of playing a very important role in your growth. So after setting up a team, the most important thing for me is that client satisfaction and the quality delivery. The other thing that I would say, don't do it, is overcommitment and under delivery. Do not overcommit. What you can do, be very honest with your client that this is something I can do, this is something I cannot do, this is how it's going to take, and this is how it's going to cost. Don't be, be a kind of a play diplomatic role with the client and get them on board with on minor cost, and then share with him the other part of it. So again, be very transparent with your client, set up a proper organization hierarchy, set up a communicational and reporting structure in your organization. You need to set up a consistent plan in that organization to grow people and to development of the people. These are the do's, and if you just turn them around, they become the don'ts as well. So again, take care of your people, take care of your clients, and do the best, and focus on the client satisfactions. That's the best one can do when he is in this competitive industry.
All right, that's it from my side. Thank you so much again for having this discussion. I hope we get to do this again soon.
I would love to. And you're doing a great job, Dr. Maida. I must admit that that's your initiative. And I just said during that.
It's a teamwork, like you said, it's teamwork. Nobody can do it alone.
Yeah, but let me highlight something. As I said, if you have good people around you, you won't have to even think, that's not my idea, starting this, sharing the knowledge with the people. That's not that's your idea. And you're doing it very, very well. And I'm excited to see that. And I'm excited to see the response from the people out there. We're helping them out. So that's great. That's the value of the good people in your team. And I always admire that. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Take care. Bye-bye.
Take care. Thank you. Bye.